Hey, fourth grade. I'm here to do second step lesson number 9, showing compassion, and I apologize, I don't have a camera on here, so I am just gonna be a voice today. All right. So today we're gonna learn about showing compassion. What do you think these pictures all have in common? So let's look right here. Look, that person's looking at the person crying. She's hugging him, holding their hand, helping them at the hospital. Okay, so these pictures all show people helping or expressing concerns for one another. They're showing compassion. What do you think compassion means? We've talked about empathy in several second step lessons. Who remembers what empathy means? Empathy is feeling or understanding what someone else is feeling. And compassion is when you do something to show you have empathy and care about how someone is feeling. Today, we're going to continue to talk about empathy and show compassion for others. While I play the song Walk, 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 listen to the attention for words and phrases that talk about caring or compassion. Pick out one phrase to tell your partner after the song is over. Okay, so here we go.
I bet you've had strong feelings coming from within. Hard to see another's point of view when you're in your own skin. Changing your perspective, thinking through your stuff. Empathy's not easy when the going gets rough. You know that it may be hard to think it through. Other people feeling different because they're not you. You gotta walk, walk, walk. Walk in their shoes. Take a look and see what they're seeing. Walk, walk, walk. Walk in their shoes. Try to understand what it would feel like to be them. You gotta walk, walk, walk. Walk in their shoes. Empathy is what we're saying. Recognize those feelings. You felt them too. That's empathy. You see, she's getting angry. You felt that feeling too. Embarrassed, jealous, scared, strong emotions through and through. Empathy's the pathway to recognize and walk. You can dish out some compassion and really walk the talk. People showing strong feelings, what do you do? Show them that you get it. Treat them with kindness through and through. You gotta walk, walk, walk. Walk in their shoes. Take a look, see what they're seeing. Walk, walk, walk. Walk in their shoes. Try to understand what it would feel like to be them. You gotta walk, walk, walk. Walk in their shoes. Empathy is what we're saying. Recognize those feelings and reach out to. Yeah, empathy.
All right, I'm going to pause it right there. So some of the things in the song that represent compassion is take a look and see what they're seeing right here. Walk in their shoes, try to understand so you can dish out some compassion. Show them that you get it, treat them with kindness through and through. And really quick, let's review the empathy poster. So remember, it's feeling and understanding what someone else is feeling, looking at their face and body for clues. What's their point of view? How do they feel? How could you help? What's a kind thing to say? And also, compassion is empathy in action, which is what we're going to talk about today. So now we're going to watch the videos.
I looked around for my friend Enrique at recess and noticed he was alone looking really sad. I went over and asked him if something was wrong. Enrique told me that his older brother has been working overseas. He was hoping to come home for Enrique's birthday. Just that morning, Enrique found out that his brother's schedule changed and he wouldn't be able to make it home for his birthday. Enrique had been really looking forward to seeing his brother. I knew Enrique was feeling very sad and disappointed. I would have felt the same way if I had been expecting to see one of my special relatives. I wanted to do something nice for Enrique to help him feel better.
All right, I'm just going to rewind that a tiny bit. Okay, so this is Derek showing compassion for his friend Enrique. So Enrique felt sad and disappointed because his brother could not visit. And Derek felt sad for Enrique. And Derek wanted to do something nice for Enrique to make him feel better. And think about what Derek could say to Enrique to show that he cares about how Enrique feels. I'm thinking he could say, "I'm sorry your brother won't be home for your birthday. I know you were looking forward to it." When you say or do something that shows you care about how another person feels, you're showing compassion. Sometimes people who are too shy or embarrassed to say something, another way of showing compassion is to do something for the other person. What could Derek do to show compassion for Enrique? Let's see what Derek does to show compassion for Enrique.
I knew Enrique was feeling very sad and disappointed. I would have felt the same way if I had been expecting to see one of my special relatives. I wanted to do something nice for Enrique to help him feel better. I decided to ask Enrique if he'd like to come over to my house after school. I told him he could be the first person to play my new game. I'm glad I asked him. It seemed to cheer him up.
All right. Oh, so let's pause that right there. So what does it feel like when someone shows you compassion? I know that when I have experiences and people show me compassion and tell me they know how I feel, like my best friend Stephanie is so good at doing that, it feels good, like someone cares. What could Enrique say to Derek to let him know he appreciates his concern? Derek, that made me feel better, is something he could say. Think about a time when you showed compassion for someone else. How did it feel? How did the other person feel? So I think that when you show compassion for someone else, you can think about what they would want, and it feels so good to do something nice for someone else. And then it's just a win-win, which is one of our habits, right? Because it makes you feel good if you're giving compassion or the person that's giving compassion, and it makes the other person feel good that's receiving it. Okay? Alrighty. So we already discussed this. So now we're going to do an activity. Everyone is capable of showing compassion. Let's practice thinking of ways to do this using scenarios. So here's a scenario. You see a fifth grader teasing a new fourth grade student at recess. You tell the playground supervisor. You don't know the new student who had been teased very well. As you line up to go back inside, you notice that he still looks very upset. What are two compassionate things you could do or you could say? So why don't you turn and talk to your neighbor about what you could do or what you could say? Or think about it for a second. So come back to me in 5 seconds. So an example of something that I would say is to say, "Oh my gosh, I saw what happened to you and you look really upset. I'm so sorry that person teased you." And then you could tell them that, and then you could tell them that you know what that feels like. You could, if that's happened to you, you could say, "I've been teased before too, and I didn't like it at all. And I think it was a really good idea to tell somebody so it doesn't happen again." And then remember, Derek wanted to do something nice for Enrique, so you could say like, hey, why don't we play over here so that doesn't happen to you again? So you could do something nice for that student, right? So let's try another one. Your friend is working on an art project. Just as she is finishing up, she accidentally spills water on her painting. The water has ruined her painting. What are two compassionate things that you could do or say? You could say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that the water spilled on your painting. That's a bummer." Like, you could tell them that that really stinks that that happened to them, right? And then you could also say, what if we like put it over in the sun and it could dry and be like a different kind of artwork? And you could give them maybe a suggestion, and then you could say, here, I could help you make another one, right? You could say something kind. All right. All right, so let's wrap up our lesson today. What can make it difficult to show compassion? You might feel shy, you might not know what to say or do, you might feel embarrassed or awkward. Remembering your assertiveness skills can help in these situations. Why is it important to be able to show compassion? It's the right thing to do, it makes people feel better, and it makes you feel good. Compassion is valued here at our school. It helps you all feel like you belong. Now think of a time when you could show compassion here at school. Give students, let's think about it for a second. How could we think of a time when we could show compassion here at school? So, one of the things that we could do is we could just be on the lookout for things that happen and really try to, like, one word that I like to say is validate people's experiences or show them that we understand what they're going through, right? So I would think that we should be on the lookout. Like if somebody falls at recess, you could say, "Oh, I'm so sorry you fell. I've fallen before too." And you could ask them if they need help, right? So just noticing what's going on. So today you learned how to show compassion. Showing compassion is an important part of empathy. It's a respectful way to show you've noticed and understood how someone else is feeling. All right. And here is the empathy poster again. So remember, compassion is empathy in action. Looking at their face and body for clues, their point of view, how do they feel, how can you help, what's a kind thing to say. And I think by learning to show compassion, we make the world a better place, right? So now we're going to listen to this book called I Am Love, a book of compassion, one of my favorite ones.
I Am Love, a book of compassion. When I see someone going through a storm, of hurt and unfairness, of anger and sadness, when the sun disappears and the skies grow dark, and I see there is fear, I ask myself, what can I do to help the light back in? I put my hands on my heart and listen, and that is where I find the answer. I have compassion. I act with tenderness. I am love. I can listen and not say a word. I can be there. Love is being present. I can hug and hold and say, everything will be all right. Love is comfort. I can speak softly and choose my words and actions carefully. Love is gentle. I can give thanks for all I have and am able to share. Love is gratitude. I can keep my mind and body safe and healthy. Love is taking care of me. I can express what's important to me. Love is creative. I can know that no one is perfect. Love is understanding. I can do my best to make things better. When something is wrong, love is effort. I can celebrate those I've loved before. Love is remembering. I can find goodness in a kind word, a helping hand, or a shared smile. I can breathe in the air that the whole world shares, and know all creatures are made from the very same stardust. Love is connection. When the clouds roll in for others than me, I know now there is something I can do. I can let my heart lead the way. I am love. You are love. We are love. And with love, we will weather the storm and light up the sky together.
All right. See you next time.